Hey everybody, welcome back to the video. It's the 5th of October, and I've got everybody here. Dan, Steve, Nick, and me, Noah. And we're unsure how we're going to handle this one, so buckle up. I think we're going to look at...
Hold on to your butts.
yeah, hold on to your butts. Uh, I think we're going to look at games that might make our top games of 2017. I think that's what we're doing right now, so...
It
Hey,
should
we're already talking about it, so we may as well record what we're talking about.
Yeah.
people like the record. But Noah, do you remember what episode this is without looking?
Oh, geez, 16?
Yeah, if you don't count 13.5 as its own episode.
I don't.
So
Um,
yeah,
God,
games.
what else even came out this year, or will come out this year?
Uh, so I mean, I haven't added anything into our consideration that has not yet come out, but I feel like
Yeah.
there are some obvious contenders between now and the end of the year that'll
Yeah.
at least be in the discussion. Like Mario Odyssey has a pretty good chance of being in the top 10 for at least a few of us, right?
Probably.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has a pretty good chance of being up there for at least somebody. Well, depending on how it rolls out, but I mean, we'll have to
How
see on that one.
how excited are you for 2 versus how excited you were for 1 and X?
Well, okay, one just kind of came out. Like I didn't know anything about it. It came
Oh,
and went, and then I actually bought it like a year or two after it came out when GameStop started doing their thing with the used games or whatever. So,
their shady reprints of suddenly used copies started showing up for
uh-huh.
$79 or whatever.
Yeah, I bought it from there because it was still $40 cheaper than it was everywhere else. So,
Yeah.
um, but because of that being so good, I was pretty darn excited for X, which ended up being a bit of a disappointment. But this one looks really good too. So, it looks better than X so far from what I've seen. But I haven't like followed it a ton. But I did pre-order the limited edition, and the Wiimote, or not Wiimote. You know what I mean? The Switch Pro controller with the big X on it.
I refuse to acknowledge them being called anything but Joy-Cons.
They aren't Joy-Cons though. It's a Pro controller.
Oh, dang. Never mind. Sorry. Sorry, fans of the video. I let you down. I didn't even know that there
Um,
was a special edition with a Pro controller, or is it separate from the special edition?
it's separate from the special edition. So there's a
Hmm.
special edition, and then there's a Pro controller with the Xenoblade theme.
Oh, okay.
I think they're both still up on Amazon, but yeah.
I saw, this is completely off topic already, but I saw that like for a hot second, the Fire Emblem Fates special edition went on sale on Nintendo's website for like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Like they had like one cardboard box of them that they found and sold all 15 copies
All
on,
of them
on the internet
instantly.
real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that came down quite a bit too from the last time. From what I'd seen when I bought it, anyway, because it's been a couple years.
Yeah, but
But
getting back to it, for some reason I'm not as excited about 2 as I would expect myself to be because I was really
well,
excited about X.
I mean, after X, I can't blame you because X was honestly pretty disappointing.
I liked X a lot, but some about, I don't know, maybe it's that 2 looks like really, it's like it really looks like anime, or like it really looks like a Tales game, which is weird because I love Tales games, but like
Yeah.
the style is so different from the other games that I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, it's suffering from the Xenosaga syndrome or whatever that it went through, just in a different order. 'Cause you remember Xenosaga 1 had the like super anime character models, and then they went to the super realistic characters, and then 3 settled on something in between, which was ultimately the best one.
yeah,
So it seems to be having a bit of an identity crisis because of that too.
I'm sure it'll be good though. I'm still.
Yeah, the gameplay, I watched like a couple short videos of gameplay, and it looks really good, so I'm excited for it.
When does it come out?
December 1st.
All right, good. I put some time down.
Yeah, you got a little bit of time to clear out the stuff.
So who added South Park: The Fractured Butthole?
I don't know.
Gee, I wonder.
Do you think you're gonna? You think you're gonna play that?
Probably. I played the other one, Stick of Truth.
I played the other one after somebody bought it for me.
Hmm.
But
That's fair.
yeah,
Like, granted, the ones I've been putting out aren't going to be, probably won't be super winners, but they'll be there for consideration.
yeah, and that's fair.
Like, I
And
might
that's
not
what the
play.
list is for.
Yeah. I might not play Star Wars Battlefront 2, but it'll be out, and it'll probably be good, from what I hear.
Well, I mean, if none of us have played it, it shouldn't go on the list for consideration.
It's
Just
hard.
because it
It's
was
hard
a
to
game.
argue about that. Yeah.
So if you haven't played Battlefront 2 by December, I'm removing it, and it doesn't get mentioned.
That's fine. we can mix it up before we actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
I still
Yeah,
need to
even
get Cuphead, so I can play that.
tune into the second half of the video for some hot Cuphead discussion.
Okay, can we get a little bit right now? My brother bought it, and we're planning on playing it not this weekend, but next weekend. Is it local co-op?
Yes, I believe so.
Good.
I got it on Xbox One, and I only have one Xbox One controller, but everything seemed to imply that it was local co-op.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll only be able to buy it on Steam if I want it before it comes out on anything else. But I can't imagine it won't come out on anything else with how successful it is.
Yeah, the reason I think Cuphead wouldn't come out on something else is that Xbox might have paid them to keep it an exclusive for like
Well,
a
they
while.
they do have the exclusivity thing, but it's probably won't be forever.
No,
And it's
at 2 years or
yeah.
whatever, or a year, it'll move.
Yeah. But it all depends on how long I want to wait to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Life is Strange Before the Storm came out, episode 1.
Yeah, it did, and I didn't like consider it because I don't want to play it until all the episodes come out. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
don't
seems
blame
like
me
a
there.
good game, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome based on how good the first one is. But
I might do what I did with the first one, where I play the first episode to see if I like it, and then I'll just wait for the rest of the episodes to come out.
that's fair. If you wait long enough, they'll probably make the first episode free.
No, maybe.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
so-
true. That's usually what they do. Like, hey, you want to give it a try? Like the King's Quest game was like that. The first episode was free for a while. I still waited to get it until all the episodes came out, and then I just bought them all together. I haven't finished it, but you know, that's how I'll probably treat all those like episodic games because I don't like waiting to play the next one. You know.
Yeah, if I don't play them all at once, I kind of like forget about the game after a while, and I find it harder to go back.
Yeah, I suppose that's true as well.
Ooh, I see Call of Duty World War II. Are you guys going to get Call of Duty World War II?
Nope,
No.
Dan,
I didn't
you're the
put it
biggest
on there.
Todd fan I know.
Oh, dude, you know me. Yep, all
Every day
about
you're
them
texting me,
shooters.
bro, you want to go play some Blops?
Some Blops too.
Let's hit up that Blops 2. Got a private server. I actually have high hopes for World War II. Nick, I have a question for you because I have a strong feeling like you're
That's
the
what
one
Hitler said.
considering World War II.
I was the one.
Do you know, does Call of Duty World War II include the kill streak system from the Modern Warfare games by any chance?
I have no clue. I haven't actually looked anything up. I was just like, I've got a PS4 now. I haven't played a shooter in a while.
Gonna do
Like
it.
like a deathmatch shooter.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm just gonna get it. I'm sure it'll be fun.
Even if for nothing else, the campaign should be good.
Yeah.
I've never played a Call of Duty campaign that wasn't fun. God, do you guys remember Call of Duty? Did you guys ever play Call of Duty 2?
played
Like,
Modern Warfare
Actual 2?
Yeah, Call of Duty 2.
No.
Oh, that was a good game. It was like a launch game for the 360, or it came out like in the launch window for the 360. I remember loving that game. Plus, back in the days of hunting Chivos, it was one of those games where if you played it through on the hardest difficulty, which was unlocked right away, you got all 1,000 Chivo points because all the achievements were just beating stuff on the hardest difficulty.
Nope.
I missed the era of poor achievement design where they didn't know how to make achievements or they didn't care, so they just threw 10 achievements and really easy things.
Yeah. Beat the game on hard. Okay, you're done.
Yep. All 1,000 points are tied to this. You're set. But there's some games that have already come out that I haven't played that I really feel like I should play. Like, I really want to wait for a physical version, but I also feel like it's really not fair for me not to play Cosmic Star Heroine this year.
I was literally
Oh,
just
yeah.
looking at that one.
I really liked that one.
It's like I will definitely get it physical, but I would feel so bad to not have played it because I was been so hyped about it for so many years. Basically, I've been waiting for it forever. Dan, do you know did that sweet looking bartender game Valhalla, did that come out this year?
I thought that was last year. I could look it up.
I think it was last year.
I'm in Steam right now.
Okay. I hope it's last year so that I can wait for a physical.
I mean, it's pretty darn cheap, so like,
Yeah, but I think didn't Limited Run say that they were doing a print run of that, so I can just wait for that.
yeah, I mean, you could do that. I even not find it. All right, because it is a goofy name. Store page. Yeah, it came out June of last year.
Okay. All right. I know that that's a game that I really need to get around to playing.
It is super good.
So like I added it to the list even though I haven't played it yet, but I haven't played Nio, and I think Nio is probably going to be a game to talk about. It's easy to forget that that game came out in the beginning of 2017.
Yeah, I think it came out really early, right?
Yeah, it was like January or February, I think.
Yeah, it was like the first 2 or 3 weeks of January it came out. But so how do you guys handle when you're thinking of like your favorite games that came out in a year? How do you approach games that came out in a slightly different version that year? So like obviously if a game has been out
Like an
since
HD
2014,
re-release?
yeah, so like a game gets
Are you talking about Final Fantasy 12?
no, but that would be
Dragon
like
Quest
exactly. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So those are kind of the same thing, though, right? Like they're both old games that were sort of updated and ported to new systems. Is there like a line in your mind where it has to make X number of changes for it to count again, or is it just no, that game is not eligible because it's an old game?
It kind of depends, I guess, on. I'd say the X number of changes, but at the same time, like it's still just an HD port. Like, yeah, the Final Fantasy 12 one, for example, it's really different to us because we didn't get the International Zodiac version or whatever it was, but it didn't really change too much of the game other than like the leveling, restricting some of the leveling system, I think. So like, I don't think I'd consider that one a new, like, 2017 game.
Yeah, I'm looking at Dragon Quest VIII, and I'm like, you're still just like the hero
You're
going
still
to save the
same
world.
game. You're still like just Gohan.
You are. What about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
I wouldn't know.
No.
That's just a Switch port.
What about MLB The Show 2017?
That's 2017 in the name.
Didn't that come out in 2016? Like,
I think it
I
came
don't
out
know,
in
I didn't put
February.
that one on there.
There's some in here that I just want to get around to playing, like Halo Wars 2. I still need to play the original, and it came out on PC recently, so there's no reason to not play it. Night in the Woods. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Thimbleweed Park. There's so many. Yeah, so like, what are your guys? Oh, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. That's one I really need to get around to playing. I can't believe I haven't played an Uncharted game. So, what are your guys like? What are the games that you guys haven't played that came out this year that you know you really want to get around to and you've just been putting it off?
For me, it's like mostly I don't have the money to buy them right now.
Well, the reason you're putting it off isn't really relevant. Just like that you have been putting it off.
I would say Night in the Woods, Halo Wars 2, and I definitely want to get the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, because I haven't played any of them.
I definitely put that one off too, because like I have them all, and I have played them all before. I just haven't even bought it. It's like, meh. Eventually, I'll pick that one up. I just don't care as much as some people have.
Yeah, mine, of games I actually own already, I want to beat the first Persona and then play 5. But I also just want to eventually, and hopefully this year, buy my Switch and then play Zelda and probably Mario. So
Yeah. Well, there's a Mario Odyssey Switch package.
ooh. Is it out yet for like pre-order?
I'm pretty sure it is, and it's definitely sold out on Amazon. I bet you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do the quick look. Nope. You might still be able to order it. You still can pre-order it on Amazon right now. Comes with a carrying case and the red Joy-Cons.
Ooh.
Make the click, man.
It's a neat looking case.
What a bargain. $379? Bargain. Can't afford not to buy it.
Right.
I did feel bad that I hadn't played what's that game called? Horizon Zero Dawn. Because that seems like a game people really liked this year. But then I think they just announced now recently that they're doing like a Game of the Year edition or like a complete edition.
It's got DLC and stuff with it.
So I'll just wait for that one to come out.
Yeah, I bought it, and I was playing it right before Breath of the Wild came out. So then I played Breath of the Wild, and then I played Nier, and both of those, the gameplay on both of those was very similar. Well, all three of them, I guess. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to play another world-wandering, collecting, doing random stuff game. So I'll come back to this. And I haven't gone back to it.
Dude, it's got the worst case of forget about it syndrome. Like, I keep wanting to go back, and I just keep forgetting.
Well, right now my focus is on getting through East 8, and watching the Danganronpa animes, and getting caught up on all that stuff so I can play V3. Because I should have done that months ago, and I didn't. So I'm doing it now.
Yeah, I haven't played V3, and I won't probably because I haven't played V2. And I doubt I'll get through both.
You definitely have to play through V2 before you go to V3.
Okay.
Since you've played V1, I mean.
Yeah. And then I also won't play Persona 5 this year, which is weird. But I just know I won't get around to it.
Because you're a slacker.
It's because Leah's a slacker.
Just take it from her. Too bad.
I could have a long time ago. At this point, it's because I'm a slacker.
Slackers, the both of you.
I know. It's hard to play games. Games are really difficult.
All that going to sleep.
Oh, God, it's so good. We also should have a top 10 sleeps of the year.
With our host, Morgana.
Yeah, I feel really bad, too, that I haven't played the last endings in Nier Automata. I feel like that is.
Wow, you just I don't even know.
It feels like that's necessary to the Nier Automata experience, and
it is.
not. So I played like all the way through the A ending and then halfway through the B ending. So I basically stopped right when it's supposed to get really good.
You sure did.
That's what I did.
Jesus.
And so it'll
People
only
are
take
terrible.
like 10 hours to go through all the rest of the game. So I really should, but I just haven't yet. That's probably the one I would say of everything. That's the thing I feel most guilty about because I know I'm just
As
like
you should.
wasting that potential.
So much. Maybe I'll buy Cuphead right now.
It is definitely worth it. Cuphead is.
I was watching a guy fight the devil, or Satan, or whatever, the other night. It looks really hard, which I'm excited for. Although watching him do it was a little frustrating, because, as it is with watching anybody play a game.
Yeah, you're like, I wouldn't have made that mistake. I saw that thing coming.
Yeah, exactly.
That specific fight wasn't even one of the harder ones for me, so
Yeah.
you're gonna like it. But yeah, Cuphead is very good. It'll definitely come up around Game of the Year time.
I think that's about it. I think I've looked over everything that's coming out or has come out this year.
Yeah, there's other stuff like that I would have liked to play, but probably won't have time for, like Siberia 3, Little Nightmares. I don't know, a couple other random, just like smaller releases that just aren't gonna. I know just aren't going to slot into my time in the next 2.5 months, or B, that I'm going to be the only person that played them, and it's going to be hard to fight for them because there are some other games that definitely more than one of us have played on this list. So
Yeah.
it's like when I'm like, oh yeah, I played Siberia 3. It's like, Steve, no one cares. Shut up and let's talk about Sonic Mania.
It's more like, shut up, I'm hungry. I want to eat.
Rude.
For any of our longtime listeners that might remember that one.
Deep track.
Mm-hmm.
So should be a good rest of the year. 2017 has been a very good video games year.
Mm-hmm.
Sure has.
Not only is there a huge list of awesome games to think about, but also I feel like I didn't play like any of them. So I feel like I'm wasting the potential of the year, and also like I'm overwhelmed by how many good games there were.
Do you remember?
It's been a rough year to try and play everything.
Do you remember our list of last year? Like, I don't even think it was like a third of this.
We were definitely struggling to add stuff to it.
I like that we kept
from
on
what I
Hobie the
remember.
show, though. No one bothered getting rid of it.
Yeah, last year our list was 15 games that we were picking between.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, I mean, it was 14 games and then The Witness, so there was not really much of
Yeah.
a contest. But we did play 14 other games in addition to The Witness.
And many others that never made it onto that list, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And our list is weird looking at it. 2017 is
Because
going to be
none
a
of
much
us
more
play
complete-
Xbox games.
Like 2016, I guess it was like, this is mostly my list, not necessarily the Bideo's list, but I feel like we didn't have as much to talk about in 2016 as we did in 2017. So 2017 will be quite spirited.
Indeed.
We still got to make a end of the year list for games that we played that didn't come out in 2017. There's that too.
Oh yeah, that's always a fun, like,
Yeah, like a
personal
throwback
category
list.
to go
and-
through.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that one quite a bit. And that list will be easy for me to fill up. I'm sure I played more of those than
I'm sure you
anything
did
else.
too.
I can't be buying new games, Dan. I can't be current.
No. You buy new games. You can't be playing new games.
You wait until they become the old games.
Technically, I don't even buy new games. I pre-order new games, and then they come, and I wait for them to become old games, and then I
Yeah.
play. That's why you're my friend, Dan. I need you to buy the new games and then also play the new games.
Do all the work for you,
It's true. You
so
like
you know
all
which
the
good ones to play.
nerdy stuff.
I do. Like I said earlier, I went and I ordered a copy of Fire Emblem Warriors, the Japanese treasure box edition, because it came with a little glass dragon stone that lights up and has like a base that lights it up and it makes noise.
Ooh.
Just to put it on my shelf. The rest of the limited edition compared to the US one is the same. Full soundtrack. I think it's like 3 CDs. So it's got the full soundtrack on it, and then an art book and some cards and something. So, other than that egg, ours was the same thing, but that egg was too cool to pass up.
I like it. So I guess you guys want to chat a little bit about the video games you played?
Yeah, we can do that.
Well,
Seeing as how I haven't been here for the past, like, 3 videos, because I've been out of town and doing other stuff.
yeah, I know. I missed you so much. These people don't play the games that I want to talk about. But let me illustrate a point. Hey Noah, what have you been playing since we last recorded?
Hey. Hello. I Okay, here are the games I've been playing. They don't make it to the double digits at all. I played about an hour of Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box.
Wait,
Wow.
you didn't even play the first Professor Layton game?
Nope.
Have you?
Nope.
Dude, go play the Curious Village right now.
I don't even own it. Like, I don't even remember buying Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box. All I know is I was like looking through and I'm like, oh my god, I have this game?
I feel like you're gonna miss out on all that rich Layton lore.
Oh, yeah. Like cross-game lore. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Those
You
recurring characters, those
Yeah.
story threads that don't conclude until the third game in the trilogy.
And then if you really want to tie it together, you got to play the crossover game. Like, man.
Alright,
Really, all
I
you
only
have
played
to
an
do
hour.
is
Everyone
crossover
shut up.
game and call it. Oh yeah, well tell me about the hour. What are your thoughts?
The puzzles are like, they're pretty simple. But,
Because you've only played for an hour.
yeah, but,
Get to some of them string puzzles and then tell me they're easy.
well, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy the whole time. But like, sometimes I just realize how absolutely stupid I am. Or like, how like
Yeah.
I'll misread something and I'll be like, yeah, the answer's 3. The answer's 3. No, okay, wait, let me read that again. The answer's 4, or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then so, like, I'm almost 30 years old. I should be able to do basic math word problems. But there's a puzzle about some woman who gives a fake $50 bill,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about how much does this guy lose? And I was like, wrong, and I was like, no, I'm so right. He loses this much money. But I was wrong. I was really wrong. And then I realized it. I'm so stupid. And
I put one of the best comics I've ever seen in there regarding Professor Layton into our chat.
nice.
So check that out.
Another thing I have, like, it's a small issue, but there's that first puzzle where you walk into your buddy's apartment or whatever, and you have to circle the thing that's wrong. And the first thing I did was I tried to circle something, and I tried it like 3 or 4 times, and it's like, you need to draw a circle better or whatever, and I kept drawing like perfect circles around the thing, and then it didn't work, so I'm like, oh, I guess that's not actually something that would register. So then I got that wrong a bunch of times, and then I'm like, it's gotta be the thing. And it was, but for some reason it just would not register. I don't know if I made my circle too big or too small or what's up with that.
Clearly weren't circling the right thing.
I was. It's the first thing I noticed.
I will say that Professor Layton is a series that basically every game is like 1% better than the previous game, just because they repeat puzzles less and less as you go on in the series. Like I feel like the first game or two has certain like types of puzzles that show up many, many, many times.
Take the water from this cup and put it
Yep.
into this middle cup, but you only have these other cups to do that with.
No spilling.
Yeah, they definitely repeat a lot.
But they get better over time. I mean, they're already good in the Diabolical Box. Dude, wait until you actually get to the puzzle, the Diabolical Box.
Mm-hmm.
Come back at me once you've maxed those Pico Rats and you're on that ultimate puzzle.
Oh man, I was so disappointed in myself that I didn't get max Picarats in the Phoenix Wright Layton game. I was so close. I don't even know where I lost them. I don't know if I missed a puzzle or if I just screwed up on one of the cases. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to play it again.
Honestly, it's kind of a stressful system where you think about it. The Professor Layton game, which is this like cartoony, fun puzzle game, has this permanent like failure system where you can make a mistake
Yeah.
that you can never recover. And every time you make a mistake, you're like, oh god, it's getting worse.
And that's why you save often, so you can save scum. I never do that on the first playthrough. Repeat playthroughs, I'm like, I don't even care. I'm gonna save scum this every
Oh,
puzzle.
yeah. Absolutely.
But you got to go through it at least once without that, so you have a good base.
So let's talk about why I played 1 hour of Professor Layton. I think September and October are just going to be anime watching months for me. I'm definitely going to be playing video games, but I watched Haikyuu, which is a high school volleyball anime, and I watched like 30 to 40 hours of that.
Men's volleyball or women's?
It's boys volleyball.
Boys. Okay, all right, boys, whatever.
And I'm pretty sure my destiny in life is to go to the Inter-High with my sports team. That's what I want to grow up to do.
Wow.
But it was really cool because season 3 is 10 episodes long, and it's all one game. It's all like the finals.
Oh, jeez.
It was actually good. It was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
And then, so I know we're not talking about video games right now, and I apologize, but Hulu just had like a big update or whatever, and they released a bunch of new shows and a bunch of old shows. Like Home Improvement is now on Hulu.
Oh,
Family Matters is now on Hulu.
wow.
They have a bunch of like.
None of that is anime, by the way.
I know, but it's Steve Urkel and Tool Time. That was really bad. It's hard to do that the way I'm positioned, but that came out, and then they released a bunch of slightly older but still popular anime. And right now I'm watching Haven't You Heard? I'm Sakamoto, which I recommend wholeheartedly to everyone here. But yeah, I also watched Food Wars, or Shokugeki no Soma, and that was good. That one's an anime about food.
I have heard that one is very good, and I plan to watch it at some point.
There's like no violence in the anime I'm watching. It's just about like normal kids like
Normal
playing
kid
sports
stuff.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing, and like since it's all subbed, I can't really play a
It's
game
hard
and pay
to play
attention.
a game. Yeah, I know that. I know what that's like.
But like I've been hooked on that one anime, like Haikyuu, for a while. So now I'm kind of just it's kind of like a body in motion stays in motion, like a body that watches anime stays watching anime. So yeah, that's kind of why I haven't been playing very many games lately.
Disappointing.
But here we go on to my YouTube channel that I flaunt all the time, every day. Um, I finished my Super Mario Brothers 3 playthrough.
Oh, good job.
Pretty good. It ends very well. I would say the last episode of it is really good.
Oh, I thought you meant the game. I mean,
The game ends pretty well too. Um, yeah, I think that's my favorite Mario game. And after that, I moved on to what is very much the best series I've done, or am doing, and that's Valkyria Chronicles, the first one.
I like the sound of that.
Uh,
Are you playing the HD one for that?
whatever's on Steam, I'm playing whatever's on Steam.
I actually don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think it's the HD one.
So I'm really proud of this series in particular because I finally have a setup where I put my gaming headphones on and then I take my the microphone and headset I use
Oh, no,
now
maybe it is.
and I hook it up in such a way where you can hear my voice very well, but I can hear the game audio and it doesn't come through. And I adjusted the actual audio levels so I don't sound really far away. I sound nice and delicious like I do now. And the game audio is loud enough; it comes through very well. I think it runs at the best frames per second it can, at the best resolution it can. And I also tried a thing with this one where, a lot of Let's Players or whatever, like Game Grumps or Markiplier or whatever, they comment the whole time they play the game, almost entirely, and they'll read the text out loud to people, and I just be quiet 90% of the time, and I'll chime in with ideas or stuff like that. I'll just have comments every so often, so it's a really quiet playthrough, which I think works really well for Valkyria Chronicles.
It's a game that demands your respect.
Any opinions on that?
I've only watched the first episode, and it was pretty good, so I'm looking forward to more. A little birdie tells me that episode 6 is the one to look out for.
It is.
I was telling you this earlier, but I'm sad that I won't get to watch it yet because I haven't played Valkyria Chronicles yet. So I don't want those spoilers.
Dude, for some reason, episode 2 didn't get uploaded, even though I uploaded it.
Oops.
That's really sad.
Re-upload it.
You'll just have to re-upload it.
Yeah, it's weird too, because episode 1 was 4 days ago, episode 3 was 2 days ago, episode 4 was 1 day ago. So I'll put out episode 2 today, and chances are this podcast will go up Friday, tomorrow. It won't wait till Saturday or anything like that. But yeah, episode 6 is pretty good. I must admit. I haven't really been playing much else. I've been playing Puzzle and Dragons on my phone sometimes. And that's about it.
What inspired you to go back to Puzzle and Dragons?
I don't know. I was just looking for something to play on my phone.
Huh.
I like to have a game or two on my phone, in emergencies.
I made some good use of mine today.
We'll wait until everyone else is done, and then Dan will go.
Maybe I will.
But other people who haven't played many games, Nick, not to name any names. What'd you play?
I only have 3 things that I can really mention. I'll start with the most droll first. I played a little bit of Destiny 2. I've only really played it when I've played it with our friend Scott. I got to level 20, and then he had to go to bed, and it was kind of late, so I was like, all right, and then that was all I played. One of the neat things, though, or no, so when you beat the campaign, no matter what level you beat it at, like say you were level like 15 when you beat it, as soon as you like talk to the last guys to like hand all your quests in, they're just like, here's level 20, like here you go. You can go do the end game stuff since you beat the campaign, which I actually kind of like, because otherwise you would just be like, I guess I just grind for the last couple levels.
Mm-hmm.
And that way too, like if you wanted to like jump in at any point, you just play the campaign, you get a feel for the game, and then you can just start doing. I assume you can just kind of start doing end game stuff at that point. It's a fun game. Like I feel like I should play it more. Like it, like runs really smooth, and the shooting feels really nice. I haven't tried like any of the PvP yet.
Sorry, it still sucks.
It does.
I mean, it's just run and gun stuff, but if you don't have the right guns, you're not going to do very well.
Yeah, that was one of the things I worried about, like how they match you. Just because, like, yeah, I haven't played, so my guns all kind of suck.
I mean, luckily all of the stuff doesn't like really matter too much because you like all your damage is like equalized, other than some of the perks on the weapons.
Oh, okay.
So it's not too bad, but it's still a little annoying if you go in with like an assault rifle, which is just garbage tier. You're not going to do any damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about hand cannons and rocket launchers and stuff.
Weird.
But I hit the I hit max level 20 or whatever, like before I finished the campaign.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you were you like running around doing other stuff on your way?
I did like the little orange side missions. I tried to stay like 10 power level above whatever the story mission was. That
Gotcha.
way I could I would know that I'm not like gonna get myself killed.
I did. I think I was 17 when I finished, but for like the last couple missions, I was like running through a Scott, and like
Yeah.
the last boss, I feel like I probably wouldn't have beaten by myself. Like that would have been a little too hard. But it was a fun game.
He's a bit of a bugger, but he wasn't too bad. Like there's like missions you can do once you're hit max level too that are like, okay, go redo missions, but they're stronger. And one of them this week was the final boss.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I did do one of those. Right after I leveled, I redid the part. There's like a sequence where they're like, "Here's a tank."
Yeah, that
have
one.
fun.
Mm-hmm. That one was super easy to do that on.
So I was like, "Yeah." And they definitely wanted the tank to feel a lot like the Scorpion from Halo.
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
True.
And they can explode, but there's pads every once in a while that just give you infinite amounts of tanks.
Yep, forever tanks. So you're like, oh, my tank's got a scratch on it. Abandoned.
So that was really cool. Let's see. So that was Destiny 2. And then I believe we talked about Metroid Samus Returns on the last podcast. But
I didn't.
You were gone, you jerk.
I know, but I beat it.
Me too. Did you 100% it?
I sure did.
Yep, it's really easy.
Mm-hmm. Since they tell you where everything is.
Yep. It takes about an extra hour.
You beat it, and then, or you get your last your last power up thing, and then just warp back to the first level, and then run through the rest of the levels,
Yeah, it took
and you're
me
good.
it took me longer because like every time I got a new power up, I'm like, oh, time to go collect more stuff because I didn't know if it would lead me to, another power up or something. So I
Mhm.
kept doing that. But
I did that once. Um, when I got the power bombs, not
yeah,
realizing there's that last thing that you
hmm
need to get.
that last thing was like, really?
When
Is
I
this what
got
we're
the
doing?
last thing, I thought that it would be temporary, and later I would get that ability as a permanent upgrade.
Yeah, yeah,
But then I just accidentally finished the game, and then so I reloaded, and I was like, oh, all right, time to go explore
yeah,
with this now.
Yeah.
yeah. I did like the reward for 100%ing it though. That was pretty cool. Get all that sweet background lore.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Good game.
That was a good game, and I felt like most of the bosses in that game were really easy, like all the alpha Metroids. But I was pretty happy with like the final boss and um, one of the bosses right before that that wasn't a Metroid.
Yeah.
Those were
That one that was not a Metroid, I had to do like 4 or 5 times because I kept trying to jump up to latch onto its arm instead of starting from the ground and going up. So I kept getting hurt, and I'm like, how am I supposed to get in there?
yeah,
Oh,
and like when you do the second one,
Hmm.
like you can probably time it right, but it's like way easier if you use like your
The slow
the
thing.
slow thing.
Yeah.
And so like it took me a while to do that, and then I didn't realize the vacuum mechanic. like
Oh
I
yeah, the
didn't realize
spider.
that one.
You could use the spider ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that out on like the fifth attempt, and I'm like,
oh,
okay.
I never figured that out.
I was like, "Are you serious?" That makes so much more sense because otherwise I was like frantically rolling just ahead of it for it to suck up the bombs and then
That's literally
jump
what I
out of the.
was doing.
I'm like, "Can I squeeze in 8 bombs and then get out of the way?"
But like luckily, like learning that made
Yeah.
the boss after that, where it
Hmm.
blows you. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I can
That
hang out while it does this.
that
That's
still
so.
took me an attempt or two before thought to do that again. I was like, "Oh, right."
I figured that out on the next boss right away, and I never even drew the comparison between the two to realize that I could have done it before.
Yeah.
The very last boss, though, I don't know if you guys agree, but I thought the very last boss was incredibly easy.
The big one,
The
right?
the last thing you fight in the video game.
I
Oh yeah, yeah. Hmm.
I had a tough time with it actually.
There was one attack that I
Hmm.
never quite figured out how to avoid with it, but I did. It only took me 2 tries to beat him, I think.
Oh, see,
There
I
was
beat
like
it my first try with like no issue.
a thing where the sweeping attack where he rushes across the stage, and I couldn't figure out how to avoid getting hit by that. Where he like sticks his tail in the ground and zooms across.
Oh yeah, you just have to like screwball in the air, like really
Really?
high above him.
Oh, yeah. It seemed like it was so fast that it was hard to avoid sometimes, or maybe just because I was against the wall when he did it.
Mm.
But whatever. Yeah, it only took me a couple tries because getting hit in that game was really punishing. It felt like oh, there goes 400 health.
It was. So that's why I'm not very good at dodging things. So,
Hmm.
but great game.
It was fantastic.
Yes, it will come up again in 2.5 months.
It made me feel very happy that I still have yet to play Zero Mission. So
It's on the Switch, or not the Switch, the Wii U store.
I bought the actual cartridge
Oh, okay.
on at Level Up
Yeah,
just in this last year. So
I still don't own the cartridge for it. I'll probably pick it up at some point, but I never actually bought it back in the day.
No, it's gonna be good.
Mhm. It was good.
And
I played it on the Wii.
yeah, I played the Minish Cap on like the Wii U,
Hmm.
the giant Game Boy Advance.
That one I have. I no longer have the box for it, but I have it.
What was number 3? Oh, yeah. Our friend Scott, he got himself a Super Nintendo Classic.
Snap. Yeah, because he works at Target. Cheater.
Yep. And so he brought that over this weekend, and I was expecting him to like play something on it, and then he plugged that in. And he's like, "Play Secret of Mana. I'm gonna play Metroid." And I was like, "Okay." So, because I've never played Secret of Mana, and then once I got to the point, um, it's pretty fun. It's definitely an earlier SNES game. So it's like not quite as refined as some of them, but it's still really fun. And then once you get your second party member in that game, another person can control it. So once I got the girl in your party, Scott just started playing that, controlling the girl. So we've been playing that co-op, and that's been really fun. It's interesting playing an RPG cooperatively.
You ever played Tales?
I've played Tales, but I've never played it with someone.
The only RPG I've ever played multiplayer is Final Fantasy IX, and it was not the ideal experience.
Did you play with like Nikki?
Yeah, each person controlling 2 characters in a turn-based RPG doesn't really do a whole lot for you. So one
No.
player runs around for 90% of the game, and then in battles, you turn to your friend and you're like, "Hey, you're gonna have to heal every turn," and they're like, "Oh, okay." If everyone's full health, can I attack? You're like, "Yeah, that's fine." Okay.
This is my game. You're just along for the ride.
Yep.
I mean,
Do what
that's
I
how
say.
the Tales multiplayer worked like that too.
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose because like when you're all on the world map, like it's just you, player 1, controlling everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
and
this-
player 2 controls in combat.
Mm. In Secret of Mana, like they're all 3 on the screen, so if they want to be a jerk and not move, you're stuck.
It reminds me of Crystal Chronicles and that one jerk bag that carried the lantern thing.
Oh yeah, they're the like crystal chalice.
Wait,
Yeah.
chiming in. Steve and I beat that game.
Well, la di da.
I never beat it. We got to the final world and we never, or like the final thing, then we never got all the way through it. We died too much.
Steve and I did. We beat
did.
that
We-
game.
The whole game, all the way through, including all of the levels.
I am proud of you.
You don't sound proud.
Did you play with Game Boy Advances?
We did.
Like with link cables?
I think
Oh,
you have to,
yes.
don't you?
4 players, 4 Game Boy Advance link cables, all the way through the whole game. We beat that game.
You played 4-player? Or just the 2 of you?
I thought it was 3.
We played 3-player. I forgot.
Who was number 3?
Pat.
Pat.
I
That
could
guy.
have been number 4,
no.
but nobody asked me.
Didn't Dylan play some?
I don't know if he played that or if he played Four Swords Adventures.
Oh, yeah, it was 4 Swords Adventures. I'm pretty sure.
Is Dylan of Noah relation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that your bro?
He's like me, but with a smaller wee-wee.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't like him.
I know. Anyway, go back to talking about Crystal Chronicles or whatever you guys are talking about. I just wanted to chime in.
So I guess Secret of Mana was kind of like that. But yeah, it's a super fun game. I've always kind of intended to play it, but never have gotten around to it. Just because it's a classic SNES RPG. Like, yeah, I think it's on anybody's list who hasn't played it, who loves
And
SNES
there's a-
RPGs.
HD remake, like complete remake of it That's going to
Yeah,
come out
that's
soon
pending.
if it isn't already. Is it coming out on Switch or is it just PC?
Uh, I think there's some console variants coming out. I want to say like on the PS4 even too.
Yeah, maybe it's on all. Maybe it's on all consoles.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've done. I think we've played it twice, and there's I think 8 temples that you have to like go to, and we've done 2 or 3 now. And they don't even tell you that you need to like visit all of the 8 temples until after you've done like 2 of them already. You're like, oh, by the way, there's like 8 of these. I'm like, oh, okay.
You're like, yeah, I know. I've played video games before. I know that there are 8.
I played A Link to the Past. All right.
If there's not 3, there's 8.
Sometimes
So-
there's both. You got to do 3, and then you got to do 8.
Yep.
So it feels like it won't be like a terribly long game, which is okay, but it's been fun, and that's all my games because I work too much in the last 2 weeks.
I hear you.
I am.
Well, maybe if you stopped doing production stuff on the weekends, then you'd have more time.
I was poking cats so that they won't die of diabetes.
Ah, cat beaties. All right.
Narrow beaties.
Yeah.
A classic episode of the video. When the beaties first plagued our lives.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess I can cover what I played.
Okay.
So, first off, as we already discussed a little bit, is Cuphead. I downloaded that 2 days ago.
I just
and-
downloaded it.
Ah, a man of good taste. And I beat it in 2 sittings because I got sleepy. And it is so good. So I've been following the game for a couple of years, ever since it was announced in like 2014 or 2015. And it's one of those games where you're always a little bit afraid that the game isn't going to live up to the style.
Or it's gonna like just crash and burn, right?
Yeah, that it'll look cool, but just kind of be garbage. Or just like really mediocre, but with a cool art style, and try to like hang its hat completely on its art style. But that game, top to bottom, is just all style. Like I've never seen a game that feels so like complete in its package. Like its mission statement is, I want to be a video game that is you playing a 50s cartoon, and it like 100% nails that flawlessly. Perfect landing, perfect execution. So you can tell that a lot of care went into the game, even though it's really short, that all of the development time was put to good use. And it's really fun. For anyone that's just like seen pictures of it but hasn't played it, the actual gameplay is kind of like Gunstar
It's very
Hero.
satisfying to watch.
Yeah, it's so good. It's a run and gun shooter there, and then there are some 2D side-scrolling platformer levels and some 2D side-scrolling shooter levels, but mostly it's a boss rush game where you're doing like run and gun, like Gunstar Heroes or maybe like Contra. Think of it in that style, and you can do a little bit of customization. You can change like your primary and secondary weapon fire between a number of different shots that you can buy at the shop. And all of your shots are just you doing like finger guns over and over and over again. You don't actually hold any weapons or anything.
I was
You just
noticing that.
Shoot finger guns and different bullets come out. And all of the bosses are really like innovative and cool and have a bunch of different forms and transformations. And some of the bosses like tell a story as you go through the different forms. So a boss might have like 4 phases, and it'll like almost tell a miniature story just in the boss's phases. There's a couple in particular. There's like a bird and another one that's like a play, and it's just they're so smart in how they decide to make a new form of a boss come out of the previous one. And the game does something really cool where when you die, and you'll die a lot, it shows you a bar that
Oh yeah, I was
goes,
noticing that.
it goes from left to right, and it has kind of little blips in it, like where transition phases in the boss would happen. So it kind of shows you how far through the boss fight you got, and how many of the phases you made it through, and how many are left. So you can look and be
Yeah.
like, oh, I was over halfway through the last phase when I died, and it gives you kind of like that burst of energy to keep
Yeah, because
trying.
there's no like health bar or anything.
hmm Yeah, and so the bosses seem like they're just kind of damage sponges when you're fighting them, but then you see that, and even though it's not exact, you get this sense of, oh, I got pretty close that time. I definitely got to try it again. So it's a really good game. It's short, and it is hard. I think that
And that just gives you reason to platinum it, or 100% it, whatever you want to say.
mhm.
If it's that
I-
short, it's easy to do.
I think that the internet thinks it's a little harder than it actually is.
I think so too.
It's not that like I beat it in 2 sittings, and actually Nick was there for most of the second sitting. And realistically, like I'd say I only got stuck on one boss for any length of time. Most of the other bosses I was dying on, but kind of like making steady forward progress as I fought them.
Yeah,
Or
like it looked like every once in a while you get like they would do a new attack, and so it might kill you. But like yeah, you were for the most part able to beat them after like 5 to 10 tries.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's just it's so good. It is. It's gonna be like one of those great indie games, and I know like pretty high budget indie game, and I think had funding from Microsoft and stuff, but still,
And that's why it's exclusive.
yeah, yeah. But hey, it was an excuse for me to use my Xbox One for the first time in a long time. I
Pretty good excuse, I'd say.
I don't know if this is so bad. I've owned the Xbox One for I don't know a year, 2 years. I don't know if the original charge on my Xbox One controller has ever gone out. Like I don't know if I've played one controller charge's worth of Xbox One.
And that, friends, is why I will never buy one, because that will be my life with a Xbox.
You really don't need to. I mean, I'll buy Halo 5 at some point. I still haven't. And there's like one or two other games that I'm kind of interested in. But yeah, I don't play the system very much. So it was nice to bust out Cuphead and actually have an excuse to play an Xbox game for once. It was really, really good. I would encourage you to play it. Yeah, so everyone download that and play it before December. To keep in the theme of upcoming game of the year.
I already told you, my brother downloaded it, and we're gonna play it in a couple weeks.
Good.
I downloaded it right now, like I said earlier.
Nick specifically said it's not his kind of game, so that's everybody.
What a nerd.
I know. I spat on his face a little bit. I was like,
As you should.
but yeah. So Nick also mentioned that he was taking care of my cat, and that's because I was out of town all last week and then in last weekend as well. For the first part on a business trip, and then out of town for the weekend to go see Stephen King live at a theater over the next state over. But during my business trip, I needed a game to play on the plane back and forth and in my hotel room at night. And I decided to play, purchased and played for the first time, Dragon Quest VIII. So
It's a pretty
This
good
is-
one, I'd say.
it's a game that's been definitely hanging over my head for a long time, where I played a lot of PS2 and I've played a lot of RPGs, and I feel like I gave the Dragon Quest games kind of short shrift, like I haven't played a lot of them. And Dragon Quest VIII is like one of those top tier RPGs that everybody talks about, where it's like, oh, that's right up there with the other greats of the era, like the Final Fantasy X and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I finally started it. I'm like 10 hours into it, I think. I think I just got, for anyone that's played it before, I just got the 4th party member, and I'm going to like some wishing hill.
I don't remember anything.
I don't
'cause
remember it
I
either.
played it on PS2.
Hmm.
I do remember that you could go Super Saiyan though.
I have not gotten that far.
You just have to stress out, man.
So, and that's an interesting system, and maybe you guys can kind of explain if it gets more fleshed out to me. But there's that tension system where instead of attacking, you can like psych yourself up, and obviously you psych yourself up more, and your tension meter builds. And it seems like the first turn you do it, it builds up 5 points, and then 20 points, and then 50 points, and then it won't psych you up after 50 points. It just says like your tension is maxed. So I don't know. Maybe later
Only
in the game, it
only
lets you
the
go
main
higher.
character can do that, and it's only a chance, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think it was like restricted to a time like wall. I think it's just when you max out, you have a chance to go beyond, and it's only, like I said, it's only the main character, and it is just straight up Super Saiyan.
Is it worth going for?
If you can proc it, then yeah, it super amps his damage for the turn or 2 turns or however long it happens. But I haven't watched like speedruns or anything or like to know if it's like actually that good. But I like to do it because it looked cool.
Okay. But yeah, see, I had no idea about that. But the game overall is pretty good. I mean, I know I'm 15 years late and everyone has played this game by now. But it's a very solid RPG. And I always like the fact that Dragon Quest games, even in Dragon Quest 8, still uses like the same NES sounds that it always used for like winning battles and entering doors and stuff. It's still like that old like grungy digital sound. So yeah, Dragon Quest 8 is good, and I'm happy I bought it. I also bought Dragon Quest 7 for 3DS at the same time, and I was debating on which one to play, but I felt like people would tell me to play 8 before they would tell me to play 7.
Probably.
Have you guys played the 3DS version?
No.
No,
I'm wondering what the differences are.
I mean the 3DS is probably just as, if not more powerful than the PS2, so it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Tales of the Abyss was on 3DS forever ago.
That's true. Dragon Quest 8 has no 3D in it, though. Boo! I wanted to see 3D slimes. So, that's a good game. What else have I been playing? I also played through and finished in 100% of Samus Returns. That is good, as is known. 2 other games I've been playing. One that I think Noah will be quite pleased to hear is West of Loathing.
Yes.
That
Oh, boy.
game rocks.
It,
Man, that game is awesome.
I told you.
That game is so funny. Oh my! It's just good joke after good joke after good joke, and I'm not even that far into it. I'm just about to leave the first area.
Oh man.
So you get to like the first area, and you kind of have to like go off and do some side quests. And I get the feeling like that game kind of has a lot of points where you can make permanent decisions that would change how your game plays out.
Yep. It does.
Yeah, and so you get like certain things will give you certain decisions you make or certain actions you take will give you certain like passive skills or abilities. Or so like one example of this that is kind of I guess it's a spoiler, but it's early in the game and it illustrates the point.
Chances are everyone gets that one. If you're talking about the same thing I'm thinking of.
The goblin.
No.
Okay, so like the very beginning of the game, it's a turn-based RPG. You go to a town, and the bartender is like, "Hey, in the basement there's a goblin. Can you get rid of the goblin?" And so I went down and I fought the goblin like you do in an RPG. And then later I did some other stuff and talked to some other people, and I learned how to speak goblin. And so I could have probably talked to that goblin instead and not killed that goblin, and my game would have played out very differently. So
Are you willing to take a spoiler right now about that goblin?
Yeah.
Okay, spoiler warning, everybody. You can take that goblin with you as a partner.
No.
Yeah, he's good too.
Oh well. It's the type of game where it's like the decisions you make are the decisions you make.
Mm-hmm.
I also murdered someone else, and I don't know if I should have.
Did you shoot him while he was sleeping or something?
Yeah. Yes, I did. And the game really tried to tell me not to, and I was like, I've already made my decision. But no, that game is really funny. I'm looking forward to go back and playing more. I only played it for like one session for like 2 hours, but I 100% plan on playing more of it before too much time has passed. I definitely want to beat it.
It only gets better. You're not even at like the really funny parts yet.
But did you get the silly walks?
No.
Oh, you have regrets that you don't even know about. I never got sick of Silly Walk.
Oh, I will. Yeah, God, that game is good. There's so much to it. Like, it seems so simple, but it's definitely very dense. It's like just full of stuff you can do and find.
Mm-hmm. I haven't even like found everything in my main playthrough.
How many times have you played through it?
One and like a half. I chose Snake Oiler, and then I watched Markiplier play it, and he was getting like tons of different events that I was getting, and he played the same type of character I did. And I was like, man, I missed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just to like to explain how weird the game is. The three classes that you could pick are Cowpuncher, Snake Oiler, and Bean Slinger.
Which one did you pick?
I chose Bean Slinger.
Good choice.
Because the image of you as a magician, like hovering a magical bean all elaborately in front of you, was too good. But yeah, that game definitely gets recommendations, and I kind of want to close this podcast so I can go play it right now.
It's a good option.
Mm-hmm.
You should maybe finish the podcast, but...
I only need to finish what games I've been playing, and then I can go play. And actually, there's only one more. And it is a Switch game that just came out called Golf Story. Anybody heard of this one?
No.
My friend Ryan has been playing it in Jamaica.
Oh, yeah, Jamaica Ryan. Love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it is... At its core, it is a 2D golf game. So it plays like Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance. You ever played any of the old Mario Golf games? Which, if someone has never played the Mario Golf game on Game Boy Color, oh man, that game is awesome. Go play it right now. It's developed by Camelot. It's a very, very good game. But the Golf Story is like a hybrid of that with a role-playing game. So you level up your golf stats and stuff, but you walk around and talk to people as if it was a 2D RPG, and you can drop your ball and tee off anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be on a golf course, and at any point you can just hit Y and you'll drop a golf ball and golf from that spot. So you'll walk up to characters and they'll give you side quests that are golf related, where they'll be like, I bet you can't chip it in from 30 yards and also bounce it off the path over there. And you have to drop a golf ball and knock something into a tee, and they'll give you like $4 in cash, and you move on to the next guy. And then the story kind of plays out where you do side quests and talk to people, and eventually, like, the courses kind of act as boss fights, and so you'll do kind of like what you'd expect, traditional golf game, competitive, like one-on-one challenges on a 9-hole course against someone else to see who can win the most holes. And the game is just so charming and like so funny, and the golf is good. It's just a good game. It's a very relaxing, feel-good game. And it's only $15. definitely worth checking out. That's it for me. That's all the games I played.
Wow,
Anybody
that's
else?
so many games.
Daniel?
Yeah, I've played a few games
Tell
in
me.
my absence. Well, you guys probably talked about this last time, but the Octopath Traveler demo came out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
We did not,
And
because I never got around to it.
oh, okay. Well, that the demo only has two characters that you play as, um, but it gives you a good feel for like how the combat will be and all that kind of stuff. And I'm very impressed with it. It changed it from a probably gonna buy it to a definitely gonna buy it. So
Nice.
you should definitely go download it and play it. Um, it gives you the option of playing as the dancer girl and then the like warrior knight guy. Um, and the combat is a lot like, say, Bravely Default, where like it has this like boosting mechanic, but instead of it being uh, like you could attack once and then magic once and then defend or something. Instead, you either attack 5 times in a row or amp up one of your abilities that you're going to use. And you get one of those like boosts per turn, and you store up to uh, 5, I think. So, and it has this like break mechanic where if you attack enemies' weaknesses, they'll eventually break, and then when they're broken, they're stunned for a turn, and they take a lot of extra damage. And so, taking all that into account, I actually died twice, I think, on the final boss of the dancer story because I was doing stuff wrong. I actually had to sit there and think about it for a bit. So it's actually pretty engaging.
A
You
rare
can't just
treat in an RPG.
Yeah, you can't just like mash the attack button on like the tutorial boss and win. So I thought that was cool, and the artwork was super neat. The character sprites all look like like Final Fantasy VI ish sprites.
Mm-hmm.
And then with a little more detail, but wandering around in like the town and the caves and stuff was cool because to see like the lighting effects and how they layered everything. And then like all of the enemies they just get ridiculously huge on the map in combat. Like the regular sized people outside of it, but inside they're ginormous. Um, but their like sprites are really cool and detailed, and they aren't like as pixelated and stuff as the character sprites. So it's kind of a neat difference, and I'm just super impressed. So I'm gonna buy that game as soon as it's out.
So is that combat system kind of sounds bravely defaulty?
Yeah, that's what I said
Oh,
earlier.
I missed that part.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of Bravely Default, but like in Bravely Default, you could boost and then like you could attack and then boost and use magic and then boost and defend or whatever, or heal
Okay.
5 times. You either attack 5 separate times or up X number of times, or you amp one of your abilities X number of times. You don't get to choose different actions.
Oh, okay, that's what I missed.
Yeah. So you got to think like what I ended up doing for the dancer was like I cleared out his minions, and then the boss was like weak to daggers. So I'd use her attack was a dagger. So I'd use the dagger attack to like break him. And what I had been doing was like storing up my charges so that I could boost and do a bunch of damage all at once to what they're weak against. But it turned out what I had to do was use the boost to break the guy to stun him, and then use a magic attack that hit really hard while he was stunned. And then by the time he was unstunned, you had enough to like burst and stun him again. So you could kind of stun lock him. Otherwise, he did too much damage and you would run out of healing items. At least that's what happened to me. So that was pretty cool. The warrior guy's path was a lot easier but one unique thing is that like each of the characters has like a map interaction or like an in-town interaction that they can do. The warrior guy can walk up and challenge people to fights, so you can beat people up in town and get experience and money out of it. And does that sound like another game, Steve? You run around and kick people?
Ugh. Can you also do a little fancy little walk?
I wish. um, and the dancer character can like seduce people, and they'll follow her around, and you can make them fight for you in combat. They'll like pop in and do stuff. It's pretty sweet. I also let's see what else. I finished up my playthrough of Phoenix Wright, Professor Layton, as good as I remembered. I have been playing Ys 8 since that came in. Trying to get through that before I start on Danganronpa 3. So far, it's pretty good. The characters are good. There's one character I don't really like, so I'm waiting for someone to show up so I can replace him. But it might be one of those Ys games where you don't get more than 3 characters, because sometimes they do that. But the combat's really smooth, and it's an interesting like the way they did it. Like you get shipwrecked, and then you're on like this cruise liner thing, and then you get shipwrecked, and you show up, and you stranded on this island. And you have to kind of go around and collect all the survivors basically in like this little town. And as you collect more survivors, they help you like move big boulders or clear out trees or something so you can explore more of the island. And then there was a trader, and there was all these other little things going on. There's a weird mutant parrot that's in there. But overall, it's a pretty good game. I'd have to check how many hours I have in it, but I'm like level 30-ish. And I'm only on chapter 3. So I don't quite know how far into it that is. But it doesn't seem like I'm very far. I think I've got maybe half the island explored. So
If I have only played the first Ys game and I wanted to play another Ys game, would this be the one to get, or is there a different one I should go for first?
I mean, I'll probably want to finish it before I could say that, but this would be a good one to go for, I think. Since
Okay.
it's like all the combat's like super smooth. Otherwise, Celceta, the one that came out a couple years ago, is another good one to start with. Because they're like kind of linear, but not really. Like Adol's adventures are all from the first Ys game all the way through 8, but they're all their own thing, so they don't really reference each other at all. Yeah, well, and then I just downloaded Cuphead, but I haven't had a chance to play that yet. See, I've been playing, much like Noah, I like to have a game on my phone, and that's Fire Emblem still. And it came in real handy today because I was stuck at our data center for like an hour because they were trying to fix something, and I didn't have anything to do, so I just sat there and played on my phone for an hour. Good hour of work right there.
Nice to get paid for an hour of Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yep, it's true. I don't remember if I talked about it last time I was on, but I did finish Tokyo Xanadu as well, like a week or two ago, I think. And that game was alright. Wasn't anything I'd like write home about, that's for sure. And then I've also been playing Destiny 2, bit more than Nick, but my comments are about what his are, where it's like it's all really fluid and like it actually has stuff to do, and there's a lot of witty comments from the like ghost that follows you around, and it's got some good humor. It gets chuckles out of me quite a bit from the random lines you hear from stuff like one of the planets you go to has like a ship that crashed like 1,000 years ago, but there's an AI on it that's still alive, and starts talking to you.
Yeah, that part's good.
Yeah, it's pretty snarky because it's also like uh it has split personalities. There's like two parts of it where like it'll be like super helpful and then it'll be like super depressed. But they talk in tandem, so they got some good back and forth with your little robot ghost thing. Um, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I have a copy of Fire Emblem Heroes sitting here, and it's not, or Fire Emblem Warriors, and it's not region locked, as far as I know. So I could play that, but figured I'll wait. I'll just wait a week or two and play the English one when it gets here.
Probably a
So
good call. You got the goodies.
yeah, I got them goodies. And then yeah, I think for how much I haven't, and then yeah, Metroid, of course, we talked about that already, but played that through. I don't know if I want to try and blitz through on hard or try and beat it faster. Um, I can't play it on fusion mode because I don't have the amiibos.
I don't have the two new amiibos, but I do. I have the old amiibos.
Yeah, you need the two new ones to get the
Oh,
stuff out of it.
dang.
Yeah, and they're only available in the dual pack, and that's like $50, I think.
Boo.
Yeah, so I haven't bought that yet.
Good game though. I'm just pleased that there's a game that multiple people I'm friends with 100% it at the same time as me. So rarely am I like doing the same thing that other people are doing at the same time. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is a video game we all played.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us. I like Noah still.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. I really enjoyed the feel of it was definitely good Metroid game playing through that.
Definitely
So
A plus.
definitely up there on my Metroid list. But yeah, I guess I don't really have anything else other than that. So kind of weak for being gone for a while, but Mario vs. Rabbids is on there too. I'm I have more fun with that game than I like to admit.
Do you think that game will come up when we talk Game of the Year stuff?
I don't think so. It's not like the greatest game ever, but it's a pretty fun game for what it is. It's like XCOM Lite. If you
I
have
want to get it when
played
it's like
XCOM.
$30.
Yeah, I got it so I could play it when I was on my vacation stuff, and then
Yeah.
it was a good game to bring along for that because I could play like a map or two and then go back to it. It's kind of interesting because you run through the world and then you go through a set of gates and then there's some rabbits you got to do like clear out and then you go through some more and so on and so forth. So the XCOM gameplay is definitely there with the I hate you RNG moments of you have a 50% shot, have fun missing it 3 times in a row. So yeah. And the character, I mean, I've got Mario and Luigi, and then Rabid Mario, Rabid Luigi, and Rabid Peach. And you can only use 3 characters at a time, which feels a little restrictive. I think 4 would have been a better number, but it makes the maps go quick, I guess, because you can clear stuff out because there usually aren't that many enemies unless unless it's like one where it's like you got to get to the end and then they just constantly throw enemies at you. So you got to make sure you race past everything before it spawns. They have interesting mechanics like you can jump off your allies' heads to jump super far across the map. So you can kind of bunny hop your way across the level or up a cliff or something like that.
3 does seem small for a strategy RPG, though. That's a low number.
Yeah. Most of the time, there's only like 4 or 5 enemies on the map, and you get like if you've played XCOM, you get Mario has the oversight ability. Luigi does too. At least I think that's what it's called, oversight, where like you activate it, and then any enemies that run past you, they shoot at. So you can like pick somebody off for low health, and then activate that, and then when they try to move, they'll get shot again and they'll die. Or like weapons all have critical effects, where like one of them is called honey, where it just sticks them in place and they can't move anymore. So if you happen to get a lucky crit, and then they can't move anymore. So it definitely has some interesting mechanics in it for that too. And I'd say it's for a Switch, like a fun Switch game, it's definitely worth picking up on sale.
Okay. Yeah, maybe like Black Friday, I'll see a copy for cheap or something.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good Black Friday buy.
Cool.
But, yeah.
So I
Good
think
times.
that's a lot of good video games. Any closing thoughts, boys?
Nah,
No one needs to play more video games and less anime.
I will try.
Our promise to you, the listener, is that Noah will have played more games next week. He will be leading the charge on video game discussion.
I don't know about leading the charge, but I will have played more video games.
All right, I'm gonna try to play more West of Loathing.
Do it.
All right, sounds good. See
That
you
wraps
boys
us up
later.
then.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone.